You hear me talk a lot about ultrasonic cleaners on my channel. What is an ultrasonic cleaner? Do you need one? Well, let's talk about it. An ultrasonic cleaner delivers high-frequency sound waves, creating little tiny microscopic bubbles, working with a solution that you put in the cleaner along with water to clean whatever you're putting in it. That could be jewelry, that could be automotive parts, medical equipment, or in my case, sewing machine parts. And believe me, I would venture to say that my sewing machine parts are sometimes as dirty as something you would take off of an old rusty car. So I have the pleasure today of showing you this cleaner here. It's by Anvil. I was contacted by the company asking if I would give a demonstration of their cleaner. I'm going to show you how this cleaner works. I'll give you a little clip of when I took it out of the box so you see everything that it came with, but most of all, how it works, what the parts look like when I'm finished, and then you can decide for yourself whether or not an ultrasonic cleaner is for you. All right, let's see what we have here. I asked for a larger size than what I have now because I've been looking to get a bigger one to fit the bigger parts that I clean. It does come with one of the little strainer balls that you can put the tiny little parts in and an instruction manual. These are extra parts. I think it's for if you want to hook up the drain tube and have it drain from its location into a sink or something like that, which I'm not sure I'll use that. Here's what I was really curious about. How big is the basket? Because I have bigger parts that don't fit in my current ultrasonic. Good. Yes. I can fit these in the basket at an angle and pretty much the whole part is submerged, and that is something that was really important to me. So here's the basket. It'll be interesting to see how this display works, how easy the buttons are to push. The nice thing is that this has a side drain. When you go to empty it, instead of trying to pour it out the top, you can just let it drain from the side. And the drain is lower than the hole in the bottom of the machine. That's important if it's going to drain correctly. So I think what I will do is get this all hooked up. I'm gonna take you to my kitchen because that's where I have a sink. I don't have a sink in my shop. So let's get this set up and actually test it out. I was checking the capacity. They make one that's bigger than this, I believe, but I could be wrong. The capacity on this one is 6.5 liters. I think my other one is only 4. That's why I struggle putting bigger parts in. But we'll get her plugged in and set up. We have everything that we need, and let's take her out to the kitchen. So let's go through the steps of setting this up. I do want to point out I will be using Krug Kutter with my solution of water. I'm aiming for about 50-50 or 60% water, 40% Krug Kutter, roughly around there. This could be a commercial for Krug Kutter too. It's amazing. So first, what I'm going to do is fill this with water before I plug it into the wall. Let's do that. So I'm going to go about halfway or so with water, and I want it to be warm to hot water. And if you weren't working around a sink, you could just pour this in with the container. Okay, that's about half or so. Now with the Krug Kutter. I put this in second because some chemicals have the tendency to bubble, and this way, when I'm adding water, it's not going to make a bunch of bubbles. I need to open another container of Krug Kutter. There we go. That should be good. Now the plug plugs into the back and then into the wall. There's a little switch in the back that you just turn on. And I can hear a fan running in this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my timer for 3 minutes. That's what I usually run. You can also control the temperature. So I'm just gonna leave it where it was. And then I'm going to put on some gloves. We're going to run it through its paces. I have a very dirty presser bar. This is one of the rock shafts. It's a feed rock shaft for a 127 and a very dirty back plate for a 127. So you could put the parts in a little container like this one, but since these are bigger, I don't even need that. I'm just going to drop them in the machine. That almost fits. If I had it a little bit fuller, it would have, so I may have needed to go with a bigger one, but I think that I'd be using a lot more cleaner, so I'm comfortable with this. Maybe this will kind of give us an idea of a difference between clean and dirty. So now to turn it on, there's a button right down here. It says on and off. I'm going to run it for 3 minutes. I will video a little bit of it while it's working. The sound, I can tell you, it emits a high frequency sound. It's going to make my camera and my microphone go crazy. So you won't hear it because it would hurt your ears. Let's turn it on. Okay, that was just 3 minutes. Now I have turned it off and unplugged it, and I'm going to rinse these off. So now, this looks pretty good. These were pretty dirty, and they probably could have went for a little bit longer. I think the biggest difference I see is in the needle bar itself, or the presser bar. All of the nasty gunk is off of it. This was a pretty bad shaped machine, and some of this is going to just need polishing. Let's try some other parts. Now I have parts here from a thread take-up system on a featherweight. I'm going to use the little ball. We'll put all of these parts in. Here we go. We'll close this little ball. You have to swing out the arm, close the ball. There we go. I'm going to drop it in. 3 minutes. Okay, so those other parts are done. I'm going to turn it off, unplug it. Let's take a look. These little balls, in all honesty, because this is an honest review, I guess they're handy, but I prefer just to use like little tea strainers that have a handle and just like a cup like this, and I just set them in. It's easier than trying to open and close the balls themselves. I'm going to get you one so you see what I mean. This. Now I'm going to rinse these parts. Do you remember what they looked like before? This is after. This is exactly what I expected from an ultrasonic cleaner. And again, it also has to do with the cleaner that you use. If you just use water, do not expect the same results. In this situation, I'm dealing with old grease and oil. I need a good degreaser. Krug Cutter's it. This cleaner though, I have no complaints about. I'm going to put a link to this in the description box below where you can find it on Amazon. Check out the different sizes, make sure you're ordering the right dimensions. As far as pricing, I think they're very fair compared to other ones on the market. And the customer service side, I have to say, was always very quick to respond with any of my particular questions. And that's something that we all can appreciate. So the name is Amble. This is a 6.5 liter cleaner. You saw how well the parts fit. This bigger part here is at least 13 inches long. Just so you know, this still looks really bad. I'm not surprised. I need to run it longer, but also this is going to need some other types of care. But this is the end that wasn't in the cleaner, just to give you an idea, okay? This is the end that went through the cleaner. So there you go. That's an ultrasonic cleaner. That's what it does. Of course, your solution would change depending on what you're cleaning. If it's jewelry, they make solutions for that. If you're cleaning car parts, you can probably stick with the Krug Cutter. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed seeing how they work, and now you can decide if an ultrasonic cleaner is for you. Thanks, guys. Bye.